These are tips for every Marvel Rivals hero, ranging from basic to some really advanced movement stuff. My name is KarQ, it's good to see you again. If you haven't seen this video format since the old Overwatch 1 days, let's not waste any time. Let's start with Captain America and the Vanguards. For Captain America, you only need to tap the leading dash button, and then you can instantly Fearless Leap on your next jump. Press them in quick succession, so you sprint jump, sprint jump. You know you're doing it right if you can bunny hop like this. The biggest advantage is now you can add an instant slam onto the ground while you're beating people up for added DPS without that awkward running start. For Doctor Strange, his ultimate Eye of Agamotto creates 2 hitboxes when he separates the souls during the stun. The tip here is to ensure that you charge up your dark magic first with your daggers before using your ult. And then once you stun them, you go up to them and pop them with your explosion to hit them twice. For Groot, did you know that you can actually change the angles of his walls? When you place it down, look at the indicator in the center of the screen and see what button the rotate button is bound to. With this newfound knowledge, you can actually stack your angled walls and create like a walkable path to the high ground, for example. A good tip for Hulk players is that when you're jumping somebody and they're getting hard pocketed by a strategist, use your radio lockdown as a shut up tool and stun that specific support pocketing them so that you can focus and kill the other person. Magneto's ultimate absorbs projectiles, which is something people often forget because they only use it offensively. You can reactively use his ultimate to deny other ultimates like Star-Lord's. Just make sure you don't actually fly too high out of instinct, because look at this absorption radius of the sphere. It's massive. You want to be just high enough to get a good vantage point, but low enough to protect your teammates from bullets, especially if you're using it for this purpose. Alright, for Peni Parker, the quick meme tip, in lower ranks especially, is that players don't know how she works. It's still early in the game too, right? So people forget that she can drop traps at the door. But the better tip is just more of a reminder that your cyberwebs give you movement speed and a heal over time. You want to have these up at all times, and your ability 3 key isn't the only cyberweb ability, but your bionic spider nest, ability 1, drops them all around. If you can position it well, play in it, since it can keep healing you, even giving you 150 bonus health over full. For Thor, his Storm Surge is a commitment ability, and you can't cancel it unless you hold it long enough. So instead of throwing yourself forward or backwards, you can actually aim it downwards to safely release it without putting yourself in a bad spot. If enemies are also conveniently around you, it will still damage and slightly push them. The first tip for Venom is to actually turn off the easy swing setting to make the movement a lot more fluid. The actual tip is a reminder that your primary fire Dark Predation can actually headshot. I've seen way too many Venoms just mindlessly aim it at their target's center mass, which is likely because they did not know this was a thing, so that's why you watch these videos. And so send this part to your friend who's a Venom main. For Black Panther, your dash is fantastic, but sometimes it makes you go a little too far, which forces you to burn another dash and have to pull this 180 turn to get back onto your target. Good luck to the console players. Fortunately, the tip here is that you can jump and then dash downwards to short dash, so that you're still in range for an immediate follow-up melee, and then dash again as necessary to finish off a kill. Similar to Captain America, Black Widow does not need that awkward running start in order to power jump. All you gotta do is click the sprint and immediately follow up with jump to instantly go up. Try bunny hopping around in the practice range until you get familiar with this timing. For Hawkeye, there's not a lot of things that he can confidently deflect, let alone timing it properly. For example, deflecting Groot's Spore Bomb actually explodes all of them onto him. That's not good. This deflect is supposed to be like a null, but the timing is rough, and honestly these interactions are so weird that you're better off just trusting your disgusting DPS and delete the enemies rather than trying to time a perfect projectile counter. An additional tip is that his arrow charge up only works until you're about 60 meters away from a target, so you can ping an enemy to see the distance and double check. A great way to use your ultimate as Hela is to play much more aggressively when you have it available. So when you get low HP, your ultimate acts like a Winston Primal Rage in a way where you get to transform for free and get 1000 HP to save yourself and turn the fight. The biggest tip for Iron Fist is genuinely to go to your settings and turn on the display attack range setting, as it gives you this little indicator to let you know your next attack will be close enough to dash in automatically. Now, Iron Fist is a melee character, obviously, so the next biggest tip is to try aiming your Kunlun kick to the right side of an enemy, because watch what happens when we go for the left side, and now watch what happens when we aim to the right side, all the way out here. This is because of the third person over the right shoulder angle in Marvel Rivals that makes aiming a little bit more deceptive and unintuitive, so always aim for the right side. For Iron Man, you want to juggle between walls and natural cover and reposition pretty often. Poke with your blasters for most of the neutral, and I would honestly avoid unibeaming unless you're enhanced or in a strict 1v1 because it forces you to play within 25 meters to get within beam range, and that's way too close for a hero that's this easy to shoot out of the sky. For Magik, you never want to just be swinging your sword raw. You should always be weaving in an ability between every slash, otherwise you're just missing so much DPS. You want to slash and then uppercut and then slash again, or slash portal demon slash, or even slash quick charge your air slash projectile and then slash again. It's a night and day difference in your output. Oh yeah, because this is a melee character, remember to aim on the right side as well. Look at how the dash works here. Left side, no bueno. Right side, it connects. Or Moon Knight, you don't need a building to grapple to in order to go up high. You can simply grapple directly below you and bounce vertically. Add your double jump and slowly descend as necessary. For Namor, set up the Monstro turrets above a room, which forces enemies to either deal with them by turning their back to you, or they'll take the 1v1 at a big disadvantage because they're constantly being shot at. For Psylocke, the shurikens will always recall to your crosshair location no matter where you initially place them, which means you can align it to strategically hit multiple enemies. Scarlet Witch is a straightforward hero, but her ultimate is honestly so bad, especially if you're raw dogging it, so try charging it behind cover and pop out at the last second to improve your chances of not dying mid-cast. First tip for Spiderman is to turn off easy swing so you have more control of the movement, and now the actual tip is this bunny hop you can perform by swinging, shooting a web, and then jumping right after to continue carrying the momentum. Watch it again in slow motion, swing, web, jump. That's it. For Squirrel Girl, it's important to learn the bread and butter combo, which is 2 primary fire into acorn root, then 2 primaries into the acorn reset, and then 2 more primaries. When you're using Star-Lord's blaster barrage, you can still activate your rocket propulsion so you don't have to do it on the ground. You can start floating up, which is useful to dodge like a reactive Mantis sleep, for example. Storm honestly has a really bad design because if you're a flyer, you're incentivized to kind of stay airborne, right? But the higher you are, the smaller your aura radius becomes for your teammates on the ground since it's tied to you. Her kit is just kind of naturally anti-synergistic, so I guess the tip for now is to stay at medium height to ensure your team is buffed. Remember, your attacks pierce, and swap off this hero the first chance you get until they buff or rework her. As the Punisher, when you put down your Vantage connection, you can super jump off of it by simply letting it fly, no inputs. So you can take advantage of this, so consider coming out of spawn, just running up, and then turning around and reversing your grapple. So now instead of a forward grapple, where normally your momentum just gets stopped by the wall, this backwards grapple allows you to super glide back into the fight, saving like 10 to 15 seconds every time you die. For Winter Soldier, you can hook a target, turn, and then push them into your team with your Trooper Fist uppercut like it's Roadhog. Also remember that you can pull multiple people as well. For Wolverine, it's easy to overshoot your Feral Leap and completely miss your target, and that's why you should be using your Viscous Rampage to instantly cancel it, and then Short Leap to ensure you land on a target if you're off the mark. For Adam Warlock, a lot of people misunderstand how his Resurrect works. First, there is a UI indicator on the bottom right for who's in immediate range of who can be brought back to life. However, you can ignore that and then just cast your ult in a safe area behind cover, and then you have 10 seconds to walk up to a dead teammate to send them back to the cast location. It's hard to notice in a real game, but look here. You can visually see Adam's res range, which is 30 meters with this big orange radius. So walk up and then boom, these bots are resed back here. A quick tip for Cloak and Dagger is that most people don't know that you can ascend vertically as Cloak if you hold jump while shrouding yourself, and this can be really useful to quickly reposition on certain maps. For the Jeff mains, please stop spitting upwards. Literally look down over the ledge to minimize the chances of an enemy using a movement ability to get back up. Also, for the love of God, check the indicator in the UI to see if you accidentally grabbed a teammate and spit them out separately. Don't send them off the map. For Loki, if you die and a clone is still alive in the team fight, just start shooting when you respawn because your clone on the other side of the map is going to be matching you. Aim it towards a teammate through all the walls, and your clone should also aim in that direction as well, and you never know, you can accidentally be healing them. The Immortality rune works remotely as well, which can be very helpful. For Luna Snow, you can flick back and forth between heal and damage boost in her ultimate by binding it to mouse wheel and then scrolling really fast, so that way your team gets the best of both worlds. The first Mantis tip is to always be self-damage boosted. This should be at 100% uptime. Each one lasts 10 seconds, and you should only reboost as needed if you're getting dove, for example, because each time you do it, you do start self-healing to help you in a 1v1. Speaking of getting dove, the moment somebody comes in, you want to throw your sleep out and fire 2 attacks immediately. You will not wake them up yet because there's a half a second delay before the sleep fully sets in. Then ensure you're damage boosted and finish the kill with a headshot. This tip is so freaking important for solo divers, solo flankers, because if you take your sweet time without adding in those 2 pre-sleep shots, they won't die from your post-sleep shot, which gives them the opportunity to wake up and kill you instead. Finally, for Rocket Raccoon, his dash is a fixed distance, right? But you can super dash by quickly latching onto a wall and then canceling that momentum with the dash immediately. Here's a comparison. Here's 2 dashes and I can't make it to the high ground here. But with the tap strafe, bounce, double dash, boom, look at that. And that's the end of the line with the 33 heroes for now. If you have any more tips for your favorite hero, leave them in the comments. I obviously skipped through a lot because we're only doing 1 or 2 for each hero. And make sure you subscribe if you like the content. This is my new Marvel Rivals channel. Gonna try to grow this one to continue giving you good stuff.